Greetings from DCI. This is Drum Corps International staff wishing Marching Roundtable and Tim Hinton the very, very best on your 1000th episode. We're so grateful for everything that you have done for marching arts all around the world. Keep up the great work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Hinton, the Beast of the Marching Arts, and we have such a very cool conversation about the Cookout, what it is, how it came to be, why it's going to be a very, very cool event this year, and how it impacts our activity. So with us today, Nicole Younger's here. Nicole, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for being here. Bianca Wallace is with us. Bianca, how are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well.
Great. And Jayson Ross is here. Jayson, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's a great day.
Absolutely. So I'm so excited that we got to put this together. Nicole, thank you for putting this group together to talk about this. Let's go back around and just let everybody introduce themselves a little bit further, and then we're going to get into the meat of this conversation about how this cool event can have a real impact on our activity and why everybody might want to check it out. So Nicole, tell us about yourself. Where are you in the world and what do you do?
I currently live in Cincinnati, Ohio right now. I am a color guard judge, winter guard judge, indoor percussion judge right now. Still what you would call a rookie as far as that's concerned. I'm also getting my DCI certification, trialing, doing all of that. So I'm literally on the other side of the floor now. I have not taught in like 2 years after teaching for 20. But yeah, and I also work at a vet. Those are long days, but it's great to be around. It's great to be around dogs and cats most of the time. And yeah,
wonderful. So cool. So what is your area that what is the caption that you typically judge if you're doing percussion and guard?
When I'm doing guard, I'm doing DA, so design analysis. Sometimes I will do GE. It just depends on what they need. And when I am doing percussion, it is a visual effect.
Very good. I love it. Okay, so Jayson, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Jayson Ross. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I am one of the directors of the color guard at Elkhorn North High School. I'm also on our board of our local circuit called the Heartland Winter Arts Association. I am its president for this year. So I'm in charge of basically doing all the fun stuff, organizing all the things, keeping the ducks in a row. And then as far as my actual real-time job, I am a general manager at a local restaurant. So that between those three things, it occupies a lot of my time and I wear a lot of hats.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? Being president of a circuit, that's like 2 full-time jobs right there. So how you're sleeping or having time to do anything, I don't know, but thank you for doing all that hard work.
I do what I can, and it's one of those, you just make a couple of hours here and there every week to, knock out 1 or 2 things for the circuit or 1 or 2 things for your color guard or, just you prioritize it. You put it in a little box and you get it done.
I love it. I think with all of our work in the marching arts, we've all figured out how to get things done and find that time to do things. I love it. So Bianca, if you'd introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bianca Wallace. I live currently in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and my daytime job, I am a massage therapist and esthetician. So I just love to pamper people all day. And then as far as color guard world, I am on the board for the Cookout and then also as well Elevate Performing Arts.
Wonderful. So I'm so glad that we're all here. So Nicole, I think a lot of people have heard about the Cookout, but I'm not sure maybe exactly what it is. So tell us about how this came to be and what it is.
Well, the name of it is the Cookout, basically, and there's a little sub-caption. It's celebrating people of color in color guard. The way that this came about was during lockdown. There were a couple of us who got together. I was actually called to come into a Zoom with Vincent Thomas and some other people and to basically give a testimonial. And When I signed on to the Zoom, you have that Brady Bunch screen, and everyone, I just saw so many people that I'd never seen before, but had been in the community for so long. And being able to connect with them was just it was heartwarming. I didn't feel alone, you know, with what was happening in the world at that point in time, it being very much on fire, and us still loving what we were doing and trying to get back into that creative space and that safe space. It was just nice to know that you weren't alone in what you were doing. So we had that for like once a month, going on for like 6 months, and it was therapy pretty much. And I think it helped a lot of us get back to what we were doing, and it gave us a bit more of a purpose. You know, it's not just the education, it's not just the creativity, but it's kind of defines who a lot of us are. I know for a fact, like color guard and the pageantry arts have been around for me more than any physical being has been. So like I owe everything to it.
So let me interrupt you for a second then. I love that. I love the way you just described that. So Bianca, did you have that same experience? Because a lot of us did. We learned a new way to make connections during the shutdown in a way that has been really powerful.
Yes. Yeah, I actually attended a couple of those meetings once a month. And I mean, I would like look over at my boyfriend once I got off and I'm like, man, like, let's clean the whole house. I felt so inspired to like, get a lot of things done. You know, I felt so good afterwards. So yeah, I'm definitely with Nicole on that.
Yeah, and Jayson, she was talking about there are all these folks that you didn't even know were out there doing the same thing you did, and be able to connect with them is such a cool thing.
Absolutely. And that was definitely the experience when I went last year. It was so neat to see all these different folks who, like, especially in Omaha, Nebraska can get kind of insular. I see constantly the people that I compete against, but never really so much nationally, because especially my group is a little bit of a smaller group, so I don't really travel nationally with them. So to have been in attendance and to see all these people doing great things within the arts, it was really powerful.
Yeah, so Nicole, this all turned into a live event happening in Dayton, right? Where you've all gotten together. Tell us how that was.
Well, it was a thought at first. And I had put it all down, and I was just like, I think this would be awesome if we could do this in real time, IRL. And so I was doing some things. I was like, I need help. There's no way I can do this by myself. So I reached out to some of the people that I'd met there. And then we started doing things. I know that the first thing that I did was trying to find out, like, why are we doing this? And so literally the mission statement, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to have an event where we could all come together and like celebrate what we've done, or what, as people of color, what we've done in the color guard community. And but I didn't know what we were going to call it, but I wanted to have some kind of mission statement behind it. So I know that I worked on that for months first, to be like, this is why we're doing this. And then after that, it was very much like, this isn't just for people of color. This is for everyone who wants to celebrate people of color. So definitely not excluding anybody. It's not an exclusive, you know, thing. It's for everyone. It's just who we're highlighting.
That's amazing. I think it's really cool. So you had the first one last year. What did your mission statement come true? Did getting everybody together have that powerful effect you thought it would?
It did. I'm just gonna say, like, I think I was overwhelmed. I mean, Bianca was there and everyone was just trying to calm Nicole down. I used to teach Bianca. She knows what I'm like in a show setting, I guess you could say. And so, like, we got there, we were doing our things, people were coming in, and then, you know, it really, I mean, to me, it ran logistically like a show day would. But having all those people there, and then having people talking to each other who don't usually talk to each other and meet each other, and then having everyone want to take pictures together, and that was the part of that was the part that was the most important to me. And then hearing the speakers talk and give us their background and what they hope for the future, for the activity, and sharing, breaking bread with someone. That's that's super important too. But we just put all those things into one, and it was nice to just sit back and look at it, but also to get around and shake someone's hand who I've just seen on, for months on a screen. That was the really important part. We also give back too. I know that we come together to celebrate, but part of that celebration is to make sure that the up and coming classes and the younger people are nurtured in the way that they need to be nurtured in order to be successful in the future. So we do scholarships, and I will tell you that the way that we did the scholarship this year or last year, after I was done giving it and we left, I was in tears because it was just that emotional to do it that way. We went to see Marcus Kane, who was the scholarship winner, but we surprised him at his finals rehearsal with his directors, and his peers all around him. I think that was just really important for them to get it that way, and for them to, you just see the raw energy of that coming out and their reaction. There is nothing like that. And to know that Marcus aged out of, I forget the name. What, Bianca, was the name of that group?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I'm not sure.
They had two groups, and they both ended up in open.
Yeah, they both were in open. But anyway, huh?
No, it'll come back to me later.
But anyway, he is teaching now. He aged out of that group, and I mean, the biggest thing about this was to keep someone who has you are performing in the activity, you are in some kind of leadership form in the activity. You strive to make sure that there's more of an equality that's going on, and equity that's going on within your program. And now he's teaching, so that that's nurturing that next class to come up. And that's what we are striving to do with the Cookout as well. That was a huge deal, and we're still doing that this year.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful stuff to have that that part of your mission in the mix. Of course, the Cookout's happening again this year in 2023. Bianca, when you think back to last year's event, what's one of the things that you remember the most? Do you have a certain moment?
Yeah, the food. The food was incredible. It was so incredible. So if you want to celebrate and eat really good food, definitely the Cookout, but also as well, not to be funny. For me, it was just being in the room full of great people before me. Because when I did Color Guard, I kind of was a little under a shell, or I didn't know that there were just the greats that were creating these shows that were my favorite shows. And to be in the room with Michael James and him talk about the nights when they did Dear Mr. President, I had no clue that he was behind one of my favorite shows growing up. And I'm getting chills now. But that was very special to me. And to be able to kind of walk up to him and say, "Hi, I'm Bianca, you're one of my idols." I'm still kind of speechless about it. So just being in the room with a lot of people who, you may not even be in the room with throughout your career. I think that the Cookout holds a special place with that.
Yeah, it's all about relationships and getting to know people and making those connections. And every year that I go through my life and work in this, any kind of work I do, I realize it's more and more about that, So the fact that you're creating this environment for these kind of connections to happen is really, really important. Jayson, you were there last year. What do you remember?
As always, Vincent is a showstopper. And that was one of the things I remembered most, especially the way he kind of bookended his speech. he started off by, you know, just giving you simple instructions of things to do as far as lean in, lean together, lean on. And then like, you're like, okay, this feels kind of silly at the beginning. But by the end of his speech, he said those same words again, and everyone just like, it was a mess. And he always, Vincent has that power. Vincent has that power all the time he understands not only the importance of movement and what you can express through movement, but also through word. And anytime you get the opportunity to talk with Vincent, it's more than what you bargained for. You're gonna go away with some kind of life lesson, and it was exactly that. He just has a natural ability to bring that out, and I was like, that is one of the things that I remember most, and about him, and then also about the event, and it was just so wonderful. It was just really wonderful to get all this history and to see all these things that maybe I was missing out on before that I didn't even know. So it was great.
Yeah, I love that both of you sort of were like, wow, I didn't know that these people were who they were, or that they did what they did. Like, that is really an amazing outcome of this kind of thing. By the way, I feel like really cool right now because I know Vincent and Michael both really well, and I love that you mentioned that. And I got to tell you, Jayson, Vincent Thomas, when I met him back, was around probably the mid-90s when I first met him. He was just that way back then too. I mean, he's always sort of had that sort of air and presence. And I have to tell you, he's like my friend Mary's. Yeah, it's amazing. At my friend Mary's wedding, Vincent was there, of course, because he's been a great friend with my friend Mary, and he was like the star of the whole wedding. Like, everybody wanted to dance with Vincent. No, I mean, everybody, men, women, children, everybody wanted to hang around. He's just magnetic like that. So anyway, I love that you mentioned him, and of course, Michael James is a friend of mine too. So I'm really, I tell him every year that he's the one show that I always know I'm going to cry. Darn it, don't make me cry again this year, Michael James, and he does. So anyway, that's a good cry. It's a good cry.
Yeah.
So Nicole, like, this is a very powerful thing. Like, they're describing life-changing moments, really. Like, wow, and look at this person, and they look like me, and look what they've done, and look what they're saying, and that's so inspiring.
Well, because I'll tell you, when this actually came to me as an idea, like, I was making a huge pivot to leave the activity. I'd been with the program for not very long, and experienced some things that I just don't want anybody else to experience who looks like me. And the thing about it is, coming up, like, you know, whoever's younger than I am, which is a lot of people, they're going to be in programs, and they're going to be in programs who are affluent and who don't have a lot of people around them who look like them. So there are some obstacles they're going to have to overcome and get through and try to work through. And sometimes it's not easy, and you have to really look at yourself as a human being, and like, you kind of put a price on the kind of peace, your actual peace, and you know, how much you love this activity. And it's just like, I do love this activity, but I also wish that I had someone that I could have gone to, because there's not a lot, you know, before me. There are some, but it's hard. It was hard. This is more of a networking thing as well too. So I mean, like, it's going to happen again to somebody who looks like me, but I want them to know that if readily available to them, like, you know, if they don't have someone to talk to, this is also another place that you can come to and at least try and get some kind of peace of mind or somewhere to go to with that. Now, thank goodness I did not leave the activity altogether. I didn't want to. I knew that judging was going to be the next thing for me, and I had put a lot of my time into judge training during the lockdown. So I knew that my pivot was going to be, you know, just, it's still in the activity, just in another way. But I also still wanted to do this as well. This was also set up to be something that was just for instructors at first, because that's pretty much what the Zoom was. Anytime we went, it was more for instructors, because it was a check-in to make sure that we were doing okay. Because if we're doing okay, then we can actually teach our children okay, you know. So that's the biggest reason why I did this. And then just to make sure that we're giving back, and I don't want it to be a trend. It's not, you know what I mean? I want it to be an annual thing. I want it to be something that's household and always happens. You know, this is something that is positive, not negative. And so much conversation is needed to find out where, you know, where our history is in this activity and how it ties into everyone else's history in the activity, and so on and so forth.
Right. So you mentioned it's not just for instructors. So let's talk about this. First off, tell me when it happens, and then tell me who can be there.
So I'll do you one better. Anyone can be there. Anyone. So you can be a parent, support, judge, director, designer, you know, the sister that came in with your other sister who's in a World Guard, you wanted to see her perform and you want to come to this afterwards. It is for everyone. Everyone. It's a huge networking event. It is happening on April 16th, 2023, day after WGI World Finals, at the Marriott Courtyard, AKA headquarters. It's 11 a.m. to 3, so it gives you some time to, you know, check out of your hotel room, come get some food, listen to some people talk for a minute, and, you know, get a swag bag and go home, go catch your flight home.
I love it. So I think you said something about tickets, about donating, about merchandise. Talk about those things, because do I need a ticket to show up?
Yes, tickets are on sale. We actually ended our early bird sale yesterday, but tickets are on sale. You can get tickets at, marchingcookout.com. And then you can click on the link to go there. You can also get your tickets. You can find them through our Instagram page, which is the Cookout CG, and through our Facebook page, the Cookout. And they're $40 now. You can also donate through that link, or you can go to our Cash App, which is, the handle is like $ the Cookout 22.
Okay,
and we also
so then,
sorry.
I'm sorry, you have to buy the ticket before that day. Can I walk up that day? Or I'm assuming you need tickets sold so you know how much food to get, right?
Yeah, we need them beforehand, but we are selling them up until the day. Everything is contactless, so you'd have to purchase online.
Okay, very good. And what else were you going to say?
Oh, so we have merchandise this year, which is new, and that's through the guard closet. So you would actually go to marchingcookout.com. We've got hoodies, hats, t-shirts, and a little bag. All of that goes live tomorrow, and that's really exciting for us as well. $5 of each sale goes to the Cookout so that we can put this on. We are still accepting any kind of donations whatsoever, because literally this whole thing is being put on by donations and myself. So yeah, we were just talking about this in a meeting that we were having, and it's just like, you know, we lose a sponsor, we gain, you know, another paycheck of Nicole's, but that's okay.
And mine too. I plan on donating.
Because, you know, it's very important. It's very important to me. I feel like this is something that needs to be done and shared. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, just sitting here to describe it and hearing each of you talk about it, like I'm going to, you know, unequivocally, this is something that needs to be, it's something that needs to happen. It's an experience that people need to have. Networking is everything. We need to get all of these very smart, talented, motivated, inspiring people together. And I love that you're doing that. And so, all right, so everybody, so let's not make Nicole go through all her paychecks. Let's donate, let's buy tickets, let's get the word out, because I think if this is a really worthy cause. And I know a lot of people that would be willing to say, well, I can't even be there, but I would be happy to donate. So I know this is going to happen, and I know that it will be impacting all these people. So Nicole, say the website one more time.
Marchingcookout.com.
marchingcookout.com. That's really easy. Okay, so we're going to go around as we're closing this conversation. I want each of you to say anything you want to say in closing, something about how this has impacted you, something about you're excited about. Bianca, I'll just start with you. What would you like to say? If anything else that you haven't been able to say yet?
I just wanted to point out that we did elect like a future leader award, and Kennedy was really, really awesome last year. And her speech, just hearing about where she came from, her background, and how she's inspiring others like her, that was very moving. And I can't wait to see who's next, and what leader we choose to speak about where they come from and how they're choosing to inspire others. So I'm really excited about the event and our speakers, and of course the food.
Yeah, I feel like all those are good reasons to show up, especially that food, apparently. So Jayson, what would you like to say about this as we're closing? What would you like to say to anybody who's listening?
Definitely, if you have the ability and the means to make your way to Dayton for the cookout, do come in and enjoy it. It is a really powerful event, especially for me being in Nebraska. There's not a lot of people like myself, people of color, queer individuals in the arts in Nebraska. And so to go to an event like this and have it be centered around me and people who look like me it's hard to put into words. It's hard to put, especially when, the people speaking are people who are WGI finalists. Shows that I've seen, like I saw Michael James' open show last year. It was phenomenal. And I had no idea that it came from a Black man who was that high up in the arts. I had no idea we were up in that level of the arts. And so it's educational, it's groundbreaking, and it's a pivotal event. And I'm with Nicole. I would like to see it perpetuate. I wouldn't want this to be a one-off thing. I wouldn't want this to be a trend. I have definitely donated my own money to the cause, and I have my tickets already, rest assured. And I'm bringing 2 more people. So I am doing my part, and I'm gonna get the word out there. I think this is a great thing, and Nicole, you are a great person for putting this together, and you have no idea what this means to people in the arts who look like us. And I think it's wonderful. So thank you.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you that I find that really inspiring, Jayson, that you just said that, because I remember as a young gay guy trying to find my way, I found band and music, and it saved me, and it gave me that home, and it gave me that place to be. So finding more people like yourself, seeing how accomplished they are, seeing what wonderful lives they have, and all that thing, it's very inspiring stuff. So I'm really happy that you shared that, and I love that we're having that happen. And Nicole, I have to tell you, I'm frustrated. I told them earlier, everybody, that I'm not going to be in Dayton this year, and I'm so frustrated because I would like to be there. I would like to support this, and I'd like to hear these stories because I want to support this community and all those representing them. So I think it's very, very cool. Nicole, you're going to get the final word. What would you like to say?
Well, I wanted to talk about 2 things really quickly too. We have speakers, and I want to say speakers and presenters because of the people that we have coming in this year. We have Deisha Dreyer, who is not a real big household name in Color Guard, but she came up through Color Guard. And actually the last job she had before opening up her own company, Hook and Fasten, she was the White House secretary to the Obamas. So and she has been a huge mentor to me, even though she's just a year older than me, going on with this, because like what she did was she set up all of the events that ever happened with the Obamas when they were in the White House. So she's coming in and she's going to speak about her past in Color Guard, which is really, really awesome. And I just love that, more people are going to meet her and she's going to meet all these other people. We're going to have Wayne Harris come in, and he's going to speak and present and tell some stories and have us interact. And then we also have Michael Rosales, who's going to come in, and we're going to move around a little bit, not enough to make people sweat because we are going to be in good clothes. I'm just going to tell you that. He stopped by at the end and he was just like, oh, I'm so mad that I didn't get here earlier. And I was like, well, you are kind of doing something else, so it's okay. But we've talked, and he will be there. So I feel like we have this difference in like what people are going to experience there. And then my last thing is we give out what I'd like to call the Legacy Award, and it's kind of like a Lifetime Achievement Award. Last year it went to Sheila Henderson, and Sheila is the director of Light Brigade, and she's been with the Light Brigade for 36 years. I don't know anybody else who's been, with the group that long. But this year, it is Rodney Bailey, and we are so excited to give it to him and hear what he has to say and hear what other people have to say about him. So it's very much us celebrating people, but also giving back and making sure that we can keep this going. It's a full circle type deal.
Well, I love it. I think it's wonderful. Thank you for how hard you're working to make this happen, and all of you for being here today to talk about it. And if anybody has questions, I can put you guys in touch with anybody that's on this call, or certainly you can go to all those social media and other ways that they've already described. Nicole, say the website one more time.
Website is marchingcookout.com. You can find us on Instagram, the Cookout CG, and Facebook, the Cookout.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Nicole and Bianca and Jayson, you were wonderful. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
Greetings from DCI. This is Drum Corps International staff wishing Marching Roundtable and Tim Hinton the very, very best on your 1000th episode. We're so grateful for everything that you have done for marching arts all around the world. Keep up the great work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.